they're nice big ones like that. Now, week by week, this kitchen garden area here is getting more overgrown, and the bigger the plants are getting, the less chances I actually have to get amongst them because they're literally blocking off the pathways here. But today the weather is really nice. It's warm, it's pleasant, there's a little bit of a breeze, but unfortunately I don't feel that well. Well, I feel just really tired, and I think it's the hay fever that's actually at me as well. So I'm thinking, because I do really want to spend time in the garden, if I set myself a timer for 1 hour just to see how much can I actually get done, if that's all I'm focusing on, and see if I can bring back some of these plants and rejuvenate the area a little bit more. But I think that knowing that I'm only going to give myself 1 hour will make this more achievable, because it's not like, oh, it's going to be another 6 or 8 hours in the garden. It's just what I get done in 1 hour, and really focus on that and really focus in this one area. I think it actually makes it more manageable mentally, at least. And overall, it's like there is a chance that I'll achieve some. And we've had thunder, we've had thunder, lightning, heavy summer rainstorms, and that all weighs these big leafy plants down as well. So I think if I get all this gathered up a bit more upright, it will look healthier, it will look better. And it's not just that the plants themselves have grown big, there's plants here that have well gone over and easily can be cut back. I have peas in here, I have the borage here, they've all gone over, and some of the brassicas here. I have rocket, or the arugula, that's flowering mad and just getting too big and bushy, calendula that's popping up everywhere, rhubarb leaves that look way past their best before. So there's plenty of overall tidy that needs to be done. Plus, I definitely have to start picking some apples off this discovery apple, because the branches are being weighed down, plus the wasps are starting to pay attention to the fruit as well. So I'd rather get some of them off to relieve the branches, and also get them just to ripen in the house if they need that little bit more of time to gather those sugars up. But yeah, otherwise I think mentally it will be more doable for me anyway if I can set myself a time frame. So let's see how much can I actually get done in 1 hour's time. So I finished the very first bed that I started from. I was brought out a mug of tea, so I'm taking a little break to drink that. But my wheelbarrow is full to the brim and the bucket is full to the brim with weeds or the cuttings. And I'm just after checking the time and it's not looking great. It's already halfway down the time that we had. So from 1 hour we're down to half an hour and I'm not even halfway done. So that's not looking very promising. If you're hearing the lawnmower on the background, that's not ours, that's the neighbour's tractor lawnmower, or obviously the new electric one that's not making any noise. You wouldn't know there's anything happening on the background. But yeah, so that's the neighbours. And the young robin that was following me around the garden last week, she is around this week as well, right under the sort of plantings where I've been weeding. So nice. I also had pulled up all my Lisbon onions that had gone into flower and seed, but there's 2 of them where they've actually grown like a secondary bulb next to it. So if that's how it looks like on the outside, on the inside you can see where the flower stalk is, as this looks like a proper onion. So I'll take, and there's out of all of them, there's only 2 that look like that. So I'll take them into the kitchen because they might be absolutely perfect on the inside, that they haven't gone hard the way the stalk of onion otherwise does. It looks nice and fleshy rather than this tough stalk part. So they should be absolutely perfect to eat. Just as I was going to the compost heaps, I passed our pear tree, and knowing that the wasps are already interested in this apples, I tried one of the pears as well on the tree, and it came off without too much resistance. And this is still absolutely perfect, so they can ripen in the house anyway. And I think I'm actually going to take off most of the pears as well off the tree. There isn't that many of them, but I'd rather collect them while they're looking like this. Now I'll probably leave the smaller ones still on the tree, but if they're nice big ones like that, they can come off, and at least none of the insects would have a chance then to damage them. Right, I had paused the timer for the quick tea break and taken the stuff into the compost heap, but it's time to resume this countdown again. Okay, we're down to 20 minutes. The middle bed wasn't too bad, but it still took 10 minutes. So I think it's time for just the bare essential weeds, just the weeds that really need to be removed from here, and see how far we get with that. Right, we're not doing too bad. It's 10 minutes and I really, really want to tackle those peas because they look so miserable in that brown colour. They're so gone over. But the because they're so tangled as well within that jute netting. I'm not sure. I don't think I'm going to make it on time, but I'm definitely going to give it a go. Right, so the alarm rang, and I think the neighbours actually finish up with the lawns as well. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Everything finished at the same time. That was a good exercise because I never actually do that, to try to do like a power hour, because I was just like, oh yeah, I'll go and spend the whole day, and I don't ever check the clock as such. And yeah, that was quite surprising how quickly the time flies when you're weeding or doing this any kind of tidies, any kind of gardening really in in the garden. Now with the peas, I took a shortcut. I'm positive I wouldn't have managed it within the time frame possible because of just there was beans and like the broad beans and peas tangled within the jute netting, and it's so hard to actually get them off from around it. But I noticed that the jute netting had big holes in it. I was wondering, I wonder what's that from? Who's been at it and said, no, this is my second season of using the jute netting, and because it's such a natural product, it will break down, it will actually deteriorate and then compost down itself. So I just chopped it off. No harm done to anything around it, because the runner beans are still getting plenty of support from the other side, and just on the bees side, peas side, I cut it all down and it looks so much tidier. Now the robin that I've been talking about, it actually gave me fright a couple of times because it's like a grey brown mouse, so quickly moving within the foliage itself as well. So I did get a couple of these little jumps in me, but no, it's just because it's a young bird, it's just following whatever movement they can see in the soil. So otherwise, some of the areas were much easier to clean than others, and yeah, overall I definitely liked it. Oh, I was really hoping that he had it finished up, the cutting, but obviously not. I think they have family coming over, and that's why they're really trying to get everything tidy around the yard areas. But yeah, so there was a couple of good revelations as well. Once a lot of that foliage came out of the way. So at least I can now see the footpaths, which is a massive positive. That's exactly what I wanted. I want to be able to see where I'm at, and I can see where the beds are and what is actually growing in them. So in the very first one now, there is so much of that wild rocket, and it might have looked like I was hacking away at it too hard, but believe you me, it self-seeds so easily. I think I have it now in every bed popping up somewhere. It is a brilliant plant, I love it, but I do want to eventually actually move it away and out of this kitchen garden, because by the end of summer it really creates these massive mounds. It dies back quite well over winter, but then it comes back again and then it spreads and gets bigger. But in here I took out all the onions as well that had gone into flower, and I have just a couple of the purple sprouting broccoli plants in here, which have been pushed over, but they're sort of readjusting themselves, let's say it like that. But in the central bed, I took out all the borage plants that had gone over. Now, one is still there, perfect, it has a lot of fresh flowers on it, but the others had gone over, and the finches actually have been eating all the seeds off it as well. So if something dropped into the soil, let's hope so, because I love borage plants, and there's so much calendula around the edges. But I did weed out all the calendula from the walkways. I do not need them in my walkways. There's so much of it here. And next year again, I do have to reduce them. There's no need to have that much calendula in this small area. And now I do consider this a small area because the field is so much bigger. There's so much more space on the field. And then I also left the runner beans here. I just heaped them into one big mound, but I haven't severed their stalks, so they are still growing away. They're just in one heap, because these are volunteered runner beans. I used to have runner beans here last season, so they've regrown obviously from either roots or some seeds that were left behind. And then in the last bed where I had the sweet corn growing and all the courgettes or zucchinis, I had those two plants. I wasn't 100% sure of what is actually coming out of them, and I could see they were vining. They weren't something I intentionally had planted, but it is definitely curry. The first one is, the shape of it is like an onion, but the second one, definitely the color is so much more, this real deep oranges, like the curry does. And also it has revealed how many more of the Farinze courgettes I have to harvest from here, because I missed some limonas, some have gone into big marrows, but there's a lot of beautiful, beautiful courgettes here to harvest yet. Weren't the apples just so beautiful? I've come to the pear tree just to see which ones are the biggest that could really come off the tree. But you know what? There's a good few of them that could still just grow a little bit more, and they're quite green. So I've taken that one at the very beginning. So I have another tree now here, about 10 left on the tree, but these are the biggest. So take them into the house, onto the windowsill, just to let them ripen and get a little bit sweeter, and they could be enjoyed then. So today's time spent in the garden was definitely one of the shortest periods I've done as a session in the garden. It's usually the whole weekend or at least one day. Yeah, I've never done this kind of a 1 hour, see how much you get done. Now obviously considering you have to film it, taking away the would say the stuff for the compost heaps, and then having my little tea break. Obviously I still did not just spend 1 hour, it's more likely like 3 hours between all these kind of walks. And when I went to the compost heap, I did put the timer on pause, and obviously having my tea break, I did put that on pause. So it was more about, if you would really just focus, if you're by yourself, you don't have to record it for anybody else's sake, you just go and try to get jobs done. It's actually possible, which is really exciting. It's an experience to have, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And if you've gotten this far into the video and you're still with me, thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining me here in the garden. But I have one more question for your request, Soya, is just to let me know in the comments, what kind of videos would you like me to continue doing? So is it the vlogs? Is it more of the how-tos? What kind of videos do you enjoy the most? Because a lot of the videos are based on what actually needs to be done in the garden, or what I'm doing here. So I'd really like to know, what would you appreciate, and see if I can continue focusing on those more, or maybe you'd like more the seed sowing and let's say the how-tos, because coming now next weekend we do have to start looking at the green roof. So we will start building new green roofs and taking down the old one, the one that got damaged. This job has been delayed so much now, and we really do try to get this sorted before the autumn and winter come. But otherwise, thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next video.